Nobody has ever done such a building. This is one of the most important buildings in the world. And when Frank Gehry came here, he mentioned that this is the fountainhead of architecture.
Well, fountainhead of architecture is a very big compliment. It literally means an original source of architecture. And I have recently visited this place and I got lots of things to share with you about this project. Well, in the last part, which was uploaded 3 years ago, we discussed how light and shadow plays an important role in designing facades, which was very surface level perspectives on the outer beauty aspect of the design. But in this video, we will go deeper to know the inner beauty part of this design and inquire why this building is worthy to be called fountainhead of architecture. Before dissecting any part of the design, we need to address the context and the timeline of this project, because that will help us to understand better why certain things are designed in certain way. This project was commissioned by the president of Atma in 1951. These were the initial independent years of India, a newly formed country with lots of visionaries who were filled with high ambitions for the country and the places they were living in. The modern Ahmedabad you see today is very much shaped by these visionaries, the mill owners. They all laid foundation for the modern future. They played major roles in the independence. They are the ones who gave us prestigious institute like IIM Ahmedabad. When PM Nehru invited Corbusier to develop a master plan for Chandigarh, at that time, these visionaries of Ahmedabad commissioned Corbusier to design a headquarters for their association, which is now known as Atma, where Atma stands for Ahmedabad Textile Mill Owners Association, and the word Atma literally means soul. Now let's quickly hear stories from B.V. Doshi about the project and the site.
When I had to design this building, Corbusier gave me an envelope, yellow envelope, and a little sketch, one-line sketch. And then there was a written that there is going to be Atma Building, Ahmedabad May Textile Mill Owners Association, president, vice president, boardroom, staff, and a little scribble, and that scribble had an inclined line, then a building on top, and on the other side a dip, and then said river. And he says, now you design the building.
Let's come to the site. It's on bank of Sabarmati River. The plot's orientation is on east-west axis. On the east side, we got Sabarmati River, which was dried back then, and Old City, where all the textile mills were located. At that time, west side was more in the developing era, like there were not any huge developments or people living on the west side of the bank.
It's the most important thing, this ramp. It is almost like a big shake hand, you stretch your arm and you reach to the building and look at the river afterwards.
If we picture this ramp as a hand, then things start to get interesting. This hand directly leads towards the edge of the river. Now imagine yourself as one of the mill owner. You are walking on the ramp and you are welcomed through a grandeur entry created through volumes, and you are going towards the end of the building where there is a frame just made for you. You see a horizon in front of your eyes, a river in the foreground, and in the background you can see your creations, the mills, the chimneys. That would have been very masculine experience for sure. That's what we get from the initial one-line sketch from Corbusier. Now when we look at the facade in the current times, this might not feel very special to the eye, but believe me, this is one of the most fascinating parts of the design. Now Ahmedabad has very hot and dry climate. To design for this type of climatic conditions, Corbusier developed certain architectural devices, and one of them which was used in this building, which is called brise-soleil. This was climatic solution, but what I personally think is it had more to it than just a climate control device. If we observe the plan of this design, I think here he mimicked the iconic structure of the textile mills, where they use north light and there is chimney popping out. He successfully managed to mimic something which had a real utility too. When I thought of this, I was amazed. The man was really an acrobat, and this is something which can be defined as inner beauty. Like it hides in very plain sight, and it takes special observation to notice this. This shows us that Corbusier's design were not meaningless. It had meaning, but they were hiding in the plain sights. It had emotions and everything. I don't know if you can really imagine this or not, but this was very big deal back then. It's the era where no one had seen anything modern. The people had lived in traditional homes for their lives. This whole experience of architecture was beyond dreams. No one had ever imagined something like this. This was something new. This would have been their first experience towards a new architecture. Plus, not to forget, there are planters on different levels, and when you enter the building, you are on the first floor. This is not a usual journey. This building still feels very fresh to me. Corbusier said that passion can create drama out of inert stone. And I realized the depth of this statement when I experience his work. There is still more things left to talk about this project, that how Corbusier think about making some spaces and all. But I guess we will do that for the next video. If you want to see more content like this, then do subscribe. In the end, let me play a clip where Doshi is reading poem of Corbusier.
An acrobat is no puppet. He devotes his life to activities in which, in perpetual danger of death, he performs extraordinary movements of infinite difficulty with disciplined exactitude and precision, free to break his neck and bones be crushed. Nobody asked him to do this. Nobody owes him any thanks. He lives in an extraordinary world of the acrobat. Result, most certainly, he does things which others cannot.